If he was my brother, and matter of fact, I'd probably grab him by his throat and look him in the eyes and scream at him and tell him he needs to get his act together. I'm starting to think that Agiye only acts the way he does and does the things he does just so he can go home, sit on his couch, turn on his TV, turn on YouTube, and see my reaction. Call me crazy, but there's not another explanation for it. I think he's probably sitting there right now laughing at this video. I think he sits there and thinks to himself, you know what? Matt hasn't talked about me in a while. Let's do something crazy and see if he speaks on it. I guess if that's what he's wanting, he's getting his wish, because there's not another reason I could even try to make up as to why he's doing this stuff. But hey, I'm not gonna complain. It's free content for you guys, and as much as you're entertained by all of this, I am as well. I know a lot of you are gonna be up to date and you know what's going on with him, but there's also a bunch of new people that come to the channel every single day, so let me give you the very fast run through. To make a long story short, Mr. Agiye, the receiver we're going to talk about in this video, he was a 5-star recruit coming out of high school. Every college in the country wanted him. Ultimately, he decided to go to Alabama. Things didn't go good at Alabama. He only really appeared in one major game, and he dropped a lot of passes. The fan base, they were criticizing him, and he also wasn't acting good off the field. Nick Saban even went onto the record to say he didn't mess up just once, it was multiple occasions, and he had no choice but to kick him off. He didn't have his act together, and he didn't have that great of an attitude, so he entered the transfer portal and he went to Texas. I'm not gonna let y'all forget, y'all were saying, oh Matt, you're being too harsh on him, you're criticizing him, give him a break, blah 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 blah. Y'all were the ones bashing me when I've tried to tell you since day one, I don't hate this man, and I'm not criticizing him because he left my favorite team Alabama. I'm criticizing him because of his attitude. I'm not one of those salty fans where if you leave my school I'm wishing the worst. I actually want to see you succeed because I consider you a part of the family. Anytime a Bama player leaves the university or program, I'm never mad. I want to see them go out there and ball out at their new school. What's some good examples? Jalen Hurts, he went to Oklahoma. Everybody rooted for him, but another guy I rooted for was Jerome Ford, who went to Cincinnati, and he was a great running back. The list goes on and on. Those are just two guys that came to my mind. I'm not one of those crazy fans who hate on players. I'm just keeping it real. It just so happened that Agiye happened to leave Alabama, and y'all are saying I'm being biased. Look, here's how I am. I don't care if you play for North Texas, Alabama, Montana State, Chattanooga Aquarium, doesn't matter. If I think you have a bad attitude, you have a bad attitude. It doesn't matter if you played for my former team. And well, it's funny how the tables have turned because all these Texas fans thinking you're getting a steal, you're now facing these same problems that Alabama was facing when they had them. Everybody's saying, oh Matt, you're going to see when he goes to Texas, he's going to prove you wrong. Listen here, you bozos. I'm not rooting against Agiye. Same thing goes for his teammate that also left Alabama, Jahlil Billingsley. I'm not rooting against him. But if there's problems and red flags and concerns all around you, it doesn't matter if you played for my former team or any team in the country, I'm going to be concerned. The thing that concerned me the most, and I've said this, but I got to say it again, is that Nick Saban is one of the few coaches that really hates to kick off players on the team. That's when I knew it was bad, when he came out and stated in an interview that they gave him multiple chances to get his act together, and he didn't. I want to emphasize this so you can understand it. It is extremely rare for Nick Saban to kick off a player on any of his teams. I mean this in the most respectful way possible. If Nick Saban has to kick you off, you are literally cancer to the team. Let me give you a good example so I can put it into a better perspective so maybe you can understand. Let's say Agiye, he doesn't go to class or he doesn't show up to practice. His teammates, they're going to notice that. When I was growing up, I remember everybody telling me that you are who you hang with, and I never thought that was a real thing. But the older I got, I realized it's kind of true. They say if you hang around 5 millionaires, you're going to be the 6th one. I think life is fairly simple. If you hang around winners, you're going to be a winner. If you hang around a bum, you're going to be a bum. Whoa. I know what you're sitting there saying. Yo, Matt, how does this correlate with Agiye? Just give me some time. I'm getting there. So if his teammates start to notice he's slacking off, they're going to look at that and say, hey, if he's getting away with it, I might get away with it too. That's why Nick Saban had to get rid of this young man. It's not that he didn't think he was a great football player. He was just creating a bad environment. I'll give you another great example. If you live in a neighborhood where all your neighbors, they got big houses, they're waking up at 6 a.m. going on morning runs, and they're driving Lamborghinis, what's that going to do? It's gonna motivate you. Or at least I hope it motivates you. If not, you got some serious problems. Whereas if you're in a poor neighborhood where your neighbors don't have big houses, they drive terrible cars, and they're smoking cigarettes and drinking beer all day, That's not going to motivate you. Talent is key. Give me the 6'7" point guard over the 5'10" point guard any day of the week. But however, if you have that talent and you fail to work hard, it's all for nothing. In this case and scenario, Agiye Hall, you can be the most talented receiver in the country, a 5-star recruit, but if you're not showing up to practice, it doesn't even matter. I wanted to get that mini rant out of the way first, because a lot of people think I'm bashing this kid, when in reality, I'm not bashing him, I'm telling you cold hard facts. It sounds like I'm repeating myself, but I gotta continue to say it because some of y'all, you don't understand it. What did I say about Agiye Hall in the first couple of videos I made? I stated it and said it multiple times. If he can't succeed at Alabama under Nick Saban, one of the greatest coaches and mentors of all time, why would I believe he's going to succeed at Texas? I wasn't saying he's going to fail at Texas. I wasn't saying he wasn't going to succeed. I was just saying, why would I believe he is? One thing that concerns me in life is when people don't make one or two mistakes, but it's when they compound them. Because what that tells me is two things. Number one, you didn't learn from it. And number two, you're probably not going to change. When Agiye Hall was at Alabama, he didn't change his ways, and that's why he got kicked off. And apparently, he hasn't changed his ways at Texas. And what's so ironic and funny to me is everybody's freaking out about this on Twitter and social media when I don't understand why you're freaking out, because I told you how he was going to act weeks ago. I can't remember where I saw this, but somebody said, if somebody shows you their true colors, you better believe them. Anyways, moving on, the news broke around lunchtime, around 12 or 1, depending on where you live, that Agiye Hall removed all of the Texas content from his social media. Remember when he committed there, he posted it on Twitter, Instagram, everywhere, and he was hyping it up, but now he's deleted all of that. That could mean really anything, but taking it a step even farther, he's not listed on Texas's official roster, and he's also not even enrolled there. I do want to make this clear. Some people were trying to start the rumor that he was enrolled there, but he just backed out, but the official records say he was never enrolled. That's still concerning though, because the last day to enroll is May 30th and today is May 17th. To enlighten you more on the situation, all the other players on the roster, they're on the roster, number one, and number two, they're enrolled. Why is this so entertaining? Why is it so fascinating? Because nobody knows what's going to happen next. Is he going to play for Texas? Is he even going to enroll there? Or is he going to transfer once again? Nobody knows, but we do know one thing, or at least I know one thing. This man's acting like a child. You have this big announcement that you're going to Texas, yet only a couple of weeks later, you delete all of it. It's not just that, it's everything that's led up to it. With what happened in Alabama, he called out Alabama fans, just so many things. It's 2022. Society is so soft, because I know some people are going to say, oh, Matt, you're hating and bashing on them. For those bozos that actually believe that, I'm going to tell you right now, if my brother was acting this way, I'd be saying the same things. Actually, it'd probably be worse. If this was my closest friend, I'd be saying the same things. You're acting childish. If he was my brother, and matter of fact, I'd probably grab him by his throat and look him in the eyes and scream at him and tell him he needs to get his act together. You know why? Because this saddens me the most about these talented young men. They have a chance to not just change their life, but to change their family's life, and some of them, they waste it. Agiye Hall is one of the most talented wide receivers I've ever seen. The bad part about it, we may not ever see it again. I want you to really sit back and think about it. This man has the opportunity of a lifetime, yet he's acting the way he is. Doesn't make sense to me. And I do get it. There's a bunch of Alabama fans that piss me off. They're entitled, self-absorbed. I've already ranted on that time after time. There's a lot of Alabama fans I can't stand, so I'm sure some of those people hating on them, it's actually hate, not constructive criticism. So I want to end this video off, or at least this topic off, in a good way. I'm going to be praying for Agiye Hall, and I think you guys should be doing the same thing. We could sit up here for 35 more minutes and try to anticipate and guess what's going to happen next, but I guess time will tell. Last but not least, before we do end off this video, since we're talking about Alabama and Texas, their new schedule or new game that got released, that is going to be on Fox. A lot of Alabama fans and a lot of SEC fans are pissed off about this because if you don't know what that means, more than likely that game might kick off at 12. I think I speak for everybody when I say this. If that game kicks off at 12, I will be beyond pissed. It just doesn't sit right with me. As an Alabama fan, I'm used to playing the primetime games. I either want to play at 2:30 or 7 or 6. There is no reason whatsoever that Alabama and Texas should be kicking off at 12. I'm going to leave it at that. That did kind of frustrate me. Let me know your thoughts on this down below. But what up, peace?